Pearl is the prequel to X, the movie that was shot by Ty West in secret, back to back with that. And this was this was an art piece more than it was a horror movie. This could have been, if I had my druthers, and I'm glad they did it, right? It probably didn't cost much, so they're going to make their money back.
Right.
This movie was a flashback for Mia Goth during the scene. Like, this would be the dream scene that happened when Pearl snuck into bed with her.
Okay.
But man, all I know is why I did enjoy it. Like, even though I was like, okay, I could have watched this at home and been fine. This didn't need to be a theatrical experience. I'm glad I did it. If she wants to, she's the face of horror. Like, there's just something about her, and seeing her in this trilogy, that I want to see her in more horror stuff, that we're going to be seeing her in conventions. Maybe that's not what she wants. She's like, maybe I want to do other things, but sure, she's got a job if she wants it. What do you think, Mario?
I mean, yeah, I think that there's a lot to really like in this movie. I would say if you're going in with the expectation that this is another X, you'll be disappointed, possibly.
Very disappointed, yeah.
This is very much an A24 film. This is like something A24 would buy and show with no previous kind of like connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of like an origin of a slasher movie, but set like if it was shot by the director of The Wizard of Oz. Who directed Wizard of Oz?
Sam Raimi.
Okay, yeah, directed by Sam Raimi of Wizard of Oz. It's done to like replicate that feel of a 1930s big Hollywood sort of like feature film.
Yeah,
whatever you call it, Sound of Music. It's got the big Technicolor. Everything's painted really bright.
I love the vibe it created was so good.
Yeah,
and
so
it felt like it was the third. Yeah, that was the Alamo pre-show was all about the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a scene with the Scarecrow.
Yeah,
and it was exactly what you kind of expected. And first, she's like, she wants to be in pictures and she wants to dance, but then she took advantage of the Scarecrow in the middle of the cornfield.
Yeah,
but she did it classy because it was the 30s.
Right. But wouldn't you that Scarecrow head? Did that grab your attention? Because I was just waiting for that Scarecrow head to come to life.
I was waiting for those eyes to open.
For a shoot, it looks like the Wizard of Oz Scarecrow.
It did.
Wow.
Yeah, the eyes. And that's why I kept jumping to the eyes and the legs, because like the legs worked, but those eyes, you were just waiting for them to shoot open.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. It gave her a reason. Even the bike, she rode it like you would expect somebody in a big dress in the 30s to ride it. Like, dun, 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 dun. So they went all in. They gave the backstory for, but they still didn't really. They gave the backstory for her parents, but like they still didn't show why she's basically a psychopath.
Yeah.
But she did a really good job, and I guess it helped that it was back to back. You saw young Pearl have the same mannerisms that the crazy old lady Pearl that we saw in X movie have, like peeking around the corner, really, really curious. A little bit of envy to the point where it's just like, I like that. I'm just going to touch it. I don't care if it bothers you or not type of thing. So did you get a little bit of a cleaner version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel when you went inside that house towards the end?
I mean, yeah, definitely. With all the rotting food and the corpses and stuff. I got that TCM vibe.
Yeah, so that was good, but
how about that like 10-minute speech she gives at the end?
I kept looking at the clock. I was just like, wait, when is she still going?
It's like, and like Ty West, he's good at a lot of stuff and he does certain things to like jar your expectations, but it's just like, he's like, a friend of hers is there and is just like, please, you can talk to me. Tell me what's wrong. Okay. She goes on for 10 minutes.
And it was like a role-playing game.
Yeah.
Like, if your husband was here, what would you tell him? And she told him.
Yeah. And it just goes on and on and on. And it's good. And it's one unbroken take.
Yeah. She is fantastic. Like, you can't take your eyes off her in here. She's the best. I mean, obviously, this movie's built around her, and rightfully so. Like, everything about, like, her performance. For me, even though I say you don't have to rush out to the theater to see Pearl like you did for X, I'm excited to own the trilogy. Because here's the spoiler: if you stick around for the end credit scene, you get a fast forward. Now you're in the 80s. A VHS video starts playing, and they start playing Obsession, and then they shoot around, and it looks like the Hollywood sign, but then it's Maxine with 3 X's coming soon. So Maxine is also played by Mia Goth. You know, so now you're going to see the forward version of that in the 80s. So you're going to get the 30s, 40s with Pearl, the 70s with X, and now you're going to get the 80s. What happened to the Mia Goth character Maxine after the events of X? Did that change her? Because now you're talking about, to me, I was like, you can go deep and like get into like a little bit of reincarnation of, or like passing the baton, like emotional twins of like, now you passed on this pain that's going to go from Pearl to Maxine, and that's why they looked alike. But like, if time doesn't exist, right, when you reincarnate, you could be reincarnated with somebody right next to you because time doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
I love that they can play with that with Pearl and Maxine. So I'm looking forward to owning the Ty West trilogy. And what are they going to name it? Is it
The
just
Ty West trilogy, the Ty West X trilogy, the
not
X
the
trilogy.
X or the XX?
The triple X.
Triple X.
Triple X?
Triple X. Here's the thing. What I'm looking forward to is the fact that I think Ty West, more than anyone in a while, can recreate the 80s. Have you guys seen House of the Devil?
Mm-mm.
Check out House of the Devil. It is a slow burn, and I can understand if you don't feel like sitting through it, but just watch the first 15 minutes. This movie feels like it was made in the 80s, and it would have come out in the 80s.
I love your idea.
He replicates it perfectly.
I love your idea of like, because we know it's coming, right? The rumors of the Friday the 13th. There's been some Instagram drops and some Twitter drops from Sean S. Cunningham saying Jason wants to send you a message. So the rumor is that the lawsuit is clear. Give it to Ty West. Man, I love that idea because
Give it to Ty West. I agree with that.
He creates a vibe, man. He creates such a good vibe, like you said, and it feels like you're watching an 80s movie. Did you guys like? Jay, did you like X? Did you see X or?
I didn't see X, but I remember like a lot of the hype around that started coming up about it, and it was just one of those like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and then I never did, and then now I'm like, well, so should I go watch X and then Pearl?
I think now just wait for Pearl to come out.
Right.
I mean, Pearl to be at home streaming and watch it. I think you'd appreciate it more and get more out of it if you do the back to back.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know, Mario. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Pearl not feel like it was better because we were overly hyped for it because we loved X so much?
Yeah, I think so.
So
I think it's all. It's definitely an X spinoff. I think that the gimmick of it would still be great. Without the X connection, but the X connection brings you in.
Got it.
Oh,
sorry, I got a spoiler here. Britt Baker is bleeding really bad from her nose and mouth.
Oh.
So she looks like she's going for another bloody T-shirt, and there's a confrontation going in the ring. But it looks like Tony Storm went over, and I don't know what kind of swerve's going on. But
I love Britt Baker's bloody T-shirts.
bloody Britt. So, but anyway, yeah, I think. In my honest opinion, I would say wait and watch them back to back. I don't know. Could you do a machete cut with this and watch Pearl first? That would be interesting.
You could.
Would you get the same thing? Because you wonder, because you remember the Star Wars, the machete cut. They tell you to watch Phantom Menace halfway through Revenge of the Sith as a flashback, and you appreciate it a little bit more. I feel like Pearl is within X, like I said, inside when she's in bed with her. I'd see it as a dream sequence that could have shortened it and made that Pearl scene.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past the filmmakers to maybe plan that out. You know what I mean? An alternate way to watch the trilogy so they piece together. Yeah, and Adam calls out early Greta Gerwig in House of the Devil. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
she has her death in that movie is really jarring.
So while you're at it, and you're probably watching on your phone or your tablet, like, subscribe, and share. All right, jump back to that. Sorry. So we'll fix that in post.
Right, there you go. So I saw something on Twitter. Is Pearl I think it's like the end of the movie, and they have Mia Goth hold like this biggest smile she can get for like
this
3
smile.
minutes.
This smile on screen right here.
Yeah.
She holds it for the entire length of the end credits.
Yeah, and it was great, and it had the very triumphant music, and it had the circle kind of closing, and she just held it, and she had the eyes, and it was great. That's why I'm this movie, like I said, even though you can wait, you don't have to watch it. It was pretty spectacular to hear that music and see that on screen. It had that very old-timey vibe.
Was Pearl's husband at the end of Pearl the same guy from X?
Yep. So he was the same guy, and that's why he knew, because he walked in onto when she finally did snap, and you knew she was going to snap, and he knew there was something wrong with her. So remember, in X, you didn't see it, but he kept saying, stay away from her. She has a lot. You just need to keep your distance from her, because he knew if she got too close, it'd bring out old Pearl, and we did get to see old Pearl.
Wow.
Mike said she should have dressed as Captain Insano. Yeah, you can't bring out Captain Insano now. You should have did that to open the show.
Oh, you
can't follow.
You can't bring up.
So, but that's what we're going to recommend. I think go different. You're in a very unique opportunity. I'm going to say watch Pearl first, then watch X.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's viable, because I think that might even be a more satisfying setup to Maxine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, totally. But they're very different movies.
Yeah, and that cast for X was so good. I mean, besides Mia Goth, I mean, Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi, Martin Henderson was great. I think the casting was so strong. There was no cast members that really they jumped out at. They didn't jump out at you as much as they did in X.
Okay.
Like you felt like you were watching something iconic with X with that type of cast. Where here you're watching, this is really good. The projectionist, that was kind of cool for your film heads in there, right? Showing how to work a projector, and he lives in the projection room. So I thought that was kind of.
I like how the projectionist was in a suit and tie.
Yeah,
to do his job,
right? Because he got a. I saw that Alamo Drafthouse actually is hiring a projectionist, and one of the requirements is you got to stay cool under pressure. So what is that? So what is that like? If the film melts like that happened for that one day, you got to be ready to splice it quicker than a hiccup.
Well, I mean that projectionist in Pearl was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He had the sleeves rolled up. He had the cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had the porno movie.
Yeah, he was had the Howard Hughes feels. He was
very ahead of the time. He was this is from France.
Yeah, we need to. That's what they love, the arts.
Yeah.
She's watching. He shows her a porn on the big screen, and she's like, "Is that legal?"
That porn was raw too. Like I've never seen one of those old timey porns where it's like that raw.
Yeah.
It's always just like dancing naked and having tea or whatever.
Yeah.